PSG will score today. Next game, no, I'm going for a double chance for PSG.
I don't see Paris Saint-Germain scoring 2 unanswered goals against Team friend Arsenal in this game. Usher into the game, Arsenal, a team behind the Champions League. After 70th minute, they don't get to concede a goal. But this fixture, I think we'll see a lot of goals. We'll see a 1.5, both teams to score in this game.
Partey is back. Everybody is saying that Partey is back. There is a lot of responsibility on him. I think he's experienced enough to know that there is a lot of responsibility on him, and he just have to be Partey. Or is there something else or bringing on board? Let's share the match. How should be the approach? We know say Arsenal the firm, so they will obviously start on the front foot, trying to go and score. They will attack more.
Yes, I think they're sharing a game now. We have shared through 2 angles. One, from the Arsenal angle, and secondly, from the Paris Saint-Germain angle. From the Arsenal angle, no, one thing is in a game like this, we lose who fear. We lose who fear, meaning say, oh, quite we are. You need to take the approach of first 15-20 minutes. You need to get that early goal to make sure, say, wait me, I equalize the game, no. Then to say, at the Obo home, no, we first 15-20 minutes, the pressure better so more because Obo home. The fans expect to say, wait, Marco, we are at home. You are trailing. So it's one thing that they need to do. And a team replicated this approach very well was Paris Saint-Germain against Liverpool. Where in the second leg, they made sure, say, in the first 15-20 minutes, Omutimi that early goal, no stretchy game, they call extra. Omutimi winning on the penalty shootout. So that should be a big motivation for Arteta and then the Arsenal setup going into this game. One thing as a Arteta team who in this game, it's a Paris Saint-Germain team, no, they are very solid. But every team in this world, will at least a weaker link you can explore. The moment you can take advantage of you'll be able to take advantage of the team and get that goals and decide that now bet me they are qualified for the next round of the Champions League. Arsenal more fixture compared to Inter and Barca fixture is a 2 different thing. And everything Arsenal say in the first half they should get a goal and they shouldn't concede first. No. You say in the first league they conceded within the first 3 minutes due to player positioning. One thing about Paris Saint-Germain team, they say anytime they are playing, say nobody can pass it first or pass it ball anywhere. Meaning so almost shut out, but they try to kick the ball to a throw in for you to start the game. The moment I will start the game from a throw in, no more press until within the first few minutes you lose the ball and now they take advantage of you. So that time the players in position in here in the first league here. Say the likes of Declan Rice, Merino, any Odegaard, they left the middle empty. And nothing at Dembele pick a ball no. Erani Yama Kwaraskelia. After that, ball could Kwaraskelia, they were all trying to overload that side. So don't beat me winning ball faster. Into trying to overload, Muja and Finfino for Dembele to get that goal. So Arsenal going into this game, meaning say Arteta and Brighton after the mistake they did in the first leg and how they need to correct it. Thomas Partey's inclusion into this team, I had the back were very important. Adding to America and it's also first league the way I go in the buyer. If you have someone who is a DM, a natural DM, a CDM, every time they are no share on in the ball or that extra space now a forward player or another midfield player can occupy no we jina wa twɛn no nti Osha in the first league maybe analysis kakra ha say if Partey was in the game there were 2 chances any DM would have stopped that play from Dembele go on it by so and then his inclusion in the game nyama mienu trying to make those stops and 2 trying to determine the play of Arsenal's game and then Partey be free Declan Rice here amanetima konenim amanetimi according to the box. I mean, who Declan Rice as a box-to-box midfielder, to get into the box and find those final decisions to help the team thrive and help the team get a goal. The second thing, I'm making Partey bear a stop gap for this Arsenal team to make sure, say if they are in transition, no mulusu ball now. He is not a player. He follows attacks. He always wants to be the slower person, trying to read the game and make sure it's a positional Ginano. So Mulusu ball now, he is the first to maybe come in contact with the ball. Until today, those are the 2 things that Partey the Arsenal team no. But Adeba Akone say these two teams partey the brand Arsenal team now nyame enim no kure ni emfa goals in ka Arsenal team no ho. He will do the work to make sure say he will stop them from conceding that goal or conceding in the first round.
And like moving the ball.
Yes, moving the ball. And because moving the ball, he will help move the ball well. But partey inclusion, how would they bring a goal? No, he wouldn't bring a goal. The only thing Arteta bet me taking advantage of this Paris Saint-Germain setup, Hakimi and a Mendes side. With these two players, about defensive worker, Mendes high saying Hakimi. So meaning say Mendes today wouldn't see him search forward, saying in games he was searching more forward no, because of Bukayo Saka. But Hakimi, because Paris Saint-Germain game near more of, they try to overload the left wing position. In so Paris Saint-Germain games on my boy in the Champions League, Ube some line up beba, maybe I desire the airball right wing, and maybe I skill about right wing, na Brakula about the left wing. But during the game, no, so maybe I go beba and a chance beba with an assistant. Bones the desire day and then I'm the left wing position. Maybe Kvaratskhelia and so I'm the left wing position. The main idea is to overload one position and let Hakimi do the running. In game against Aston Villa on 2 occasions, would Hakimi go or share? No, he just ran in and met the ball because neni ewo ye so ye man marking. I'll be the desire day in Chiako and I'll be the Kvaratskhelia Chiako. Then I'm no so no Hakimi etimi that run in a ball. Into Arsenal. They need to try and pin player friend Hakimi to now force Paris Saint-Germain to be in position as they started or as their lineup shows. To me, Nkwadi and Kaminya, Arteta needs to explore. How would he explore? The likes of Martinelli, they pick games to decide the umbetimi. Martinelli game, ubetimi abo ni na she go obema. Martinelli betimi abo game, ubetimi ako game, no benya reasimu chances known to me shabako. So how are you going to explore this Paris Saint-Germain setup with the Hakimi? Paris Saint-Germain in Finfio, the weakest link on Finfio and Fabian Ruiz. He doesn't have the pace. Vitinha any pace, but Vitinha no air press resistor. Obetimi you with free game no anytime. But Fabian Ruiz any pace no. Also when he's on the ball, he's not that good on the ball. Adeoye Boa team they say he makes runs and covers spaces. Into a name, so ultimately ejina anytime you be receive ball and anytime your Paris Saint-Germain is starting ball no. So close Vitinha, close Joao Neves, not ball no could Fabian Ruiz wa. You can press him and take the ball very easily. Into no and Arsenal bet me use and also the Hakimi side. Me and Minyaya, he should try that approach of trying to move Saka to the right wing position. You who say Indra Bedi Komo Asenia Enzo Maresca try Madueke on that side. With that one, Oba also direct. You don't know what he will do. It's either say Obena Jones will take you on and also be cross the ball. And it's very hard to determine a left player on the left side. I do the ball on the bay. Especially when he's equally good with his right foot. Intino, he can explore that, putting Saka on Hakimi. Now, a young chap in Nwaneri, I think he has the quality to the level of Saka. Undo Saka level, but Obetimia replicating Nyama Saka Betimia on the right wing position. And these two players in the front three would give Arsenal enough men up front. Send Betimia punish Paris Saint-Germain with the likes of Hakimi. Send Hakimi into me in so Mendes is who said 1 year would come at him or no soon calling him. Then now the ball would be given to Fabian Ruiz mo any we're friends saying way Joao Neves, any Vitinha, they need to get into the box. And these three players, they are no good when they are around the final third. Almost short. Maybe they can find passes, but so bebo short, they are no good in the final third. So you pin them to that extent. So on the front three of maybe say Desire Day in a bebo, and a Brakula and a bebo, and a Dembele, and a Kvaratskhelia. Now they have to do the magic themselves. They don't have anybody running in to help them. And the bit me aboa Arsenal set up no. And if they have to get the early goal within the first 15-20 minutes, and in the first half, if they don't get to concede and get a goal, it puts them at a good level. They can replicate sending me balls. Now they are Paris Saint-Germain and they Liverpool. They can do the same thing. On the Paris Saint-Germain side, Luis Enrique going to Champions League games they don't know how to slow down games, sit back and defend. And no they back home in the Champions League. So they go into games full attack, trying to make sure say Kwambi Arsenal eso she goes. And no Ndra who are near account with Barcelona setup no. If Barcelona were able to determine how the game will go. Say be a 3-2 up, no, okay. My main city back, my players now we can possess the ball more in De Jong, in Pedri, more they can possess. Like me, me, a lot of fouls am I. That should have been the coach way. And the Paris Saint-Germain team ni almost any. But one thing the Paris Saint-Germain team need to me ahead of Barcelona team, they say if they want to slow the game, they can slow the game. In team Beckham against Aston Villa say in over 2 minutes between Vitinha and Joao Neves, I'm pass a ball now among themselves about 30 times. Now Aston Villa players need to. That is one thing they can do. And I don't think so you can go into a game within first 20-15 minutes. So quite at the end of the derby. Those things are being done when we were at the latter stage of the game, maybe 80-70 honor. No way to me. One thing Paris Saint-Germain can also go into this game. They say Arsenal in Finfi honor. This season their player only form or Arsenal in Finfi were player who have not been able to step up. Odegaard. With Declan Rice and Thomas Partey born or more born, so we don't see Odegaard ne Nyama or Lucky this season. And if they can press Rice more, they would be able to take the Arsenal midfield out of the game. He's only the player in the setup in their middle three are all energy to run forward and run back, do that box to box role. Odegaard this season the form Natico. So if you can stop Rice with defense and Joao Neves, you are good to go. Now, no, Arsenal, Echino, in 1 year, Willie Skelly, he comes in to play as a force back. Ebe Boa and Finfin with Thomas Partey or any player playing in the middle. The likes of Timber, they don't search forward. In Timber explaining the first round, said these two teams play the same formation but different dimensions. Arsenal fullbacks, no, they don't search forward. They come in to play as force backs and make sure they protect the likes of Declan Rice and also Odegaard getting into the box. No matter what Thomas Partey. In TNA, they will go with the same approach. So they need the front three are very sharp. And then the front three doesn't need to come back. Into Paris Saint-Germain, what they need to do, they say, okay, let's use the wings more. Into the likes of Kvaratskhelia with 1v1 or maybe 2, the likes of Desire Day with 1v1 or maybe 2, and the way at Dembele and Super Droppé, every pulley the likes of Kivio, any friends and Gabriel, any Saliba, no, it will give Paris Saint-Germain the way to be able to get forward and use the wings more, get crosses into the box, and make sure says our 1v1s, no, and also that 1v1s to get the shots in the bit me a bomb. Usher into the game, Arsenal a team behind the Champions League. After 70th minute, they don't get to concede a goal. It is a Paris Saint-Germain episode to me winning game, no man. Meaning from minute 1 to minute 70, it's either they are getting a goal or they are seeing the game into a draw. And now Arteta and Brighton Bell Madrid said they need to get a goal. The way they couldn't get a goal at Emirates near the back of the bomb. Arsenal one team, they score a lot of goals from set pieces, but they are also one team and they concede a lot of goals from set pieces. Into better in the Premier League, goals that Arsenal conceded this season, they've conceded 48% from set piece. So meaning say they have the set piece strength to get goals, but they can also concede from set pieces. Honor Paris Saint-Germain should use their set pieces well with the likes of Marquinhos. Marquinhos is very good in the air. Pacho is very good in the air. So they need to take advantage of those corners and those set pieces every game. No? Make sure game where it will be one game, it will be a very difficult game for Arsenal. If they don't get a goal in the first half, they'll be stretched in the second half. A Honor, you try to go more forward. Now Paris Saint-Germain will take advantage of you. In the first leg, we couldn't see a lot of goals, but this fixture, I think we'll see a lot of goals. We'll see a 1.5, both teams to score in this game. Corners will be something I will see because Arsenal, Bernard said they will use those set pieces to try and unlock team a friend Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain with the likes of Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, any Desire they force you to make mistakes in your box until you be forced to push the ball more to corners than to try and clear them. Until we see a lot of corners. Until corners there over 8.5, you bet me who in this game. Bookings, yes, we'll see a lot of bookings also in this game. Anyone say we'll see a bookings of 3.5 also in this game. Into me who, if I'm to pick a team to win, I think Paris Saint-Germain win or draw, yeah, one of the options I'll bet me a call for. But also say open a risky bet, it can be a handicap of 2 for Arsenal. I don't see Paris Saint-Germain scoring 2 unanswered goals against team a friend Arsenal in this game.
Okay, yeah, listen, Yansha.
Yes, Listo. In a game, also give us another exciting game. I mean, in fact, if football the Champions League, now where you Real Madrid every move, especially dominating both first leg and second leg of Santiago Bernabeu, winning all these games, definitely Ubeye motivated to win the game, especially in the first leg. We saw Arsenal doing whatever Real Madrid was doing in the second leg, all the noise, all the everything, but PSG, they were just quiet. I won by England, Dean, in your Coco Binumie, Esha almost also go back to France. By nay, only 2 teams penalist all. I managed say Ometima progress to the Champions League final. And now Ometima progress from the Champions League semi-final. After losing the first leg, especially at home, 2 teams penalty SRD. That is Ajax in the late 90s against Panathinaikos, and Tottenham Hotspur for year in 2018. Omani Ajax. So losing the first leg in the semi-final game, it was home. Now we go away, and time team beat my ass. But yes, I mean it is football. There's first time for everything. Records are set to be broken and and then say Obi that 2 teams are Ibida. So Arsenal can be the 3rd team to do that. But then this one check Arsenal for now. Marco Air France 7 games unbeaten, run away from home across all competition, and without each of them last 4 Europe no, at least this was almost 2 goals. So Arsenal so any team PSG for and and in fact I know that they are not going to do that, because this is a team why eliminating Real Madrid every this competition. And you see, say Arsenal for me to repeat that 2-1 victory over Real Madrid or Bernabeu at least all. I will say Arsenal for a shot in some I will say game, you know, to me if they can do that, the game would have to go extra time, because there's no way Arsenal can stop this thing, because at least all the dynamics of the game necessary. In this game, Arsenal will have to go all out if they have to win, because the first 20-30 minutes they will try to say break PSG. But here is the case that if Arsenal wants to go all out, list all, they have to be very careful. In the first 20 minutes, they have to stay in the game. In the first 20 minutes, if Arsenal doesn't concede, no more team stay in the game and manage the game widely, centrally, narrowly. It's me getting one passes together. I didn't beat my bomb, but the thing is, one most important thing is I know that in midfield they will give PSG a very tough time, because they also have an anchor, somebody who is also going to control the game, like how Vintia will also control the game for PSG. Again, Rice will move to the number 8, a position that Obetimia carry ball to the danger zones, to the half spaces behind when Joao Neves, Ruben, Fabian Ruiz press here. Obetimia carry ball. You see how a PSG for list to ball. They attack more press centrally. So one take on alone very dangerous for them. And if Rice is able to do that, I think that they will hurt PSG very more, especially in this game. And again, Odegaard has to play one of his best ever game, because in the first leg he was missing. So Odegaard to me back game anymore. And my own say yes, the comparison some years, 2 years last season, and then Mokomes is one of the best creative midfielders in the game. You know, he has to do that on and off the ball. If he has the ball, he has to be great. If he's off the ball, he has to be great. And it's something that a bit me about Arsenal. In fact, I'm expecting Mikel Merino and Obebo as the first 9 to also come into the middle to help this guy, because against PSG, a midfield battle, if you're able to win the midfield, if you're able to conquer them, you can do, and it's very difficult to do that, especially how Vintia, Joao Neves, and if Fabian is mobile, and they have players. The moment that is when they use the flanks, because they have arguably the best wingers in the Champions League this season. One of the best. Dembele, Obebo Force 9, Vicha Kvaratskhelia, whether 1v1 or 2v1 or not yet just the one man, he can overtake you. And in a desired way, the attributes, how he plays, and any day Dracula submit me, I hate so. So listen, in this game, I think that is going to be very interesting. But then, if Arsenal for beat my Sanimana, they have to stay. They have also almost a very good away record at home. But one thing is, is to PSG for no, they've been eliminated just once from European knockout tie, especially in the Champions League. Abraham are winning the first leg, especially away from home. In the PSG in the UEFA Champions League and in the European knockout competition, Amakoko winning the first leg. Almost remove one spec. And that game no was against Manchester United in 2018-2019 when Amakoko winning the first leg. Old Trafford and Man United. The exploit of Abraham and Rashford in that very game. And then they almost answer especially in the league to Strasbourg. But results no PSG in several games akano. Yet me find yastic. Liverpool for my who say it is possible to win against PSG at Parc des Princes. How omu defend it? Omu sankombu the pressure and that very late goal. But who check it? Alisson Becker saves or yeah. Hey, to make your man. Can Raya do that? That is the question. And then Saliba, any Gabriel Magalhaes, omo partnership with my union. Any young because in several games omo ba Saliba abono. Yahu mistakes or yeah. So I can say na Gabriel Magalhaes no. And then they play a nankalis. Otimi boa a manage right now we give or game no more. We haven't seen the best of Saliba. And then if Arsenal for they are not capable of holding on to the leads, if they're able to get a win, no man team hold on, still they are going to lose this game. There's no downplaying say Partey Abano ain't mean bomb. There's a possible absence of Dembele, but right now almost squad on the ball game. He's part for the past 2 trainings or more. He trained with the team, and definitely he's going to start this game. Into PSG for this with the more wide players. More exploiting any gaps will be opening up. No, one clear chance I'll meet me convert it. So in this game, if Arsenal say we are down by a goal, yeah, be attacking first ginging presence on first leg free under 3 minutes. No, same thing can happen today. 1v1 marking PSG for no whenever they are attacking and I say defend 1v1 centrally. So Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, Declan Rice, and Odegaard, they have to put up one of their best ever performance because say almost tackle 1v1 at least. The only thing I bet my breaking 1v1 is individual attributes, individual brilliance, or tune 1v1 for two baby. And in the moment I didn't bet to be taking the space, taking on, short you, and that is one thing I will say Arsenal for it. They should be aware that Donnarumma will make saves. Then Martinelli and the Sakamu. So more who game so more Hakimi because any game no the thing is Martinelli has to step up because Hakimi whenever they are attacking or anymore in this space never be down. They have to Martinelli have to attack. He has to take use of that space never be down. I think that Nuno Mendes will give Bukayo Saka hard time. So the money man kind Arsenal they take good use of set pieces of Mbono. And then no check in the game now. I think that it's going to be an interesting game, especially Ucheki PSG side. Arsenal they are good on set pieces. They are going to utilize on that. And a 1v1 situation, PSG are good at that. They also utilize on that. And the momentum will never ban. If Arsenal doesn't take care of the moment they will have in this game, list all, PSG will hurt them. Now let's talk about Arsenal defense. And if Partey is coming up, whatever, then Partey diba on board. It means that if Partey bar, Mikel Merino is going to play the first 9. Partey will partner with Declan Rice, and then the press and who Declan Rice praising Thomas Partey that if Partey is able to or the best performance Emma Arsenal for now, they are going to win this game. And in fact, that is no flick. If Partey to me a control game no and then you won't say Arsenal will also dominate the game in wide areas. Arsenal will dominate the game, and then the Americans say Arsenal for no overload a place. They should make sure say in the midfield area check balls. The moment I bet check ball PSG they will create a lot of chances and they miss a lot of chances. That is some weakness back on. They create a lot and they miss a lot. Until they say right, and Timian step up, Saliba any Kiva or money Julian Timber, and then Martin Lewis Kelly. And Timian put up a very good defensive game against PSG. And I don't think that they will avoid PSG from not scoring. PSG will score today, and Arsenal will also attack. I see them scoring, but the thing is, can they be victorious? So meet me about on top. And also another question, because if Arsenal had another striker be a goal potent, I think that any game, if Saka, any Martinelli, it will be very dangerous for PSG. But the thing is, how is Arsenal going to provoke PSG for no? I won't build up. Are they going to do that 1v1? If they do that, PSG can hurt them. They have the men. I'll make press resistance. And any moment we are not meet me, press some very higher. And I'm not sure how they build up. The attention call left. You will press them. Dembele everybody deep. That is only if Kivo be dinechi. Se Kivo nya dinechi say pe. Na Dembele nya. He's also skillful. Otimi turning or sending ball call any of the wide areas either to desire Due and I say Vicha Kwaraskeria. Still here 3v3. In the PSG game no you have to make sure say omo flanks omo wingers no who bet me your best ever performance and it's very unlikely this happening a bit me happen into moment in the game. You have to make sure so to be very honest, with Partey coming, Arsenal will dominate the game in some parts, but I don't see say Ombe outplay PSG for the fact say able game no Park the Prince, because in say Arsenal won the best ever games at Emirates Stadium, but they lost to PSG. They didn't get the approach right. How counter pressing affect you. And I know that pressing the first 20-30 minutes game. Maybe their advice and they have to stay in the game. Game, Partey should control the game. They should look at the loopholes, and that loophole will be at Achraf Hakimi's side. Unless maybe they will decide say Omebo low block and I say Omoma Hakimi go too much. But definitely how Omebo this season biano. If Hakimi ankwa, it means that Nuno Mendes is going, and I say the two midfielders, Joao Neves, Daniel Brandt and Eddie Fabian Reismo Echo. To be very honest, and they Biana Vintia being the game, they are already leading. Arsenal for now they will press, but if Joao Neves so a very good game alongside Fabian Ruiz, that is it for Arsenal. Because they know that Thomas Partey a threat coming into this game. Arsenal build up will be different, because with Declan Rice, how Arsenal wanted to build up no munyanisa. But ne Partey no 1v1 no debate because Partey so press resist now pressing gidigidia obetimi the idea yo, then he will overtake you or the ball na kwakoma Rice mo. Rice will also carry the ball. Odegaard will play the true balls for Merino, and then it's going to be very very difficult game. But PSG with Marquinhos, William Pacho, Nuno Mendes, and Achraf Hakimi and Donnarumma, if they are able to get Omutimi put up even 60% of the performance more than all this season now, it's going to be very difficult for us now. I think that at least the game will be very difficult for us now. Despite say Omolusu the first leg, but it's not any possible. Liverpool former here, but Arsenal for the question is, can they hold on to leads? Because if Omentimian hold on to the leads on Benyana, it is something a bit may affect you. And PSG definitely they are going to score. If Dembele mo any more chance, ultimately game plan work more, it's going to be very difficult. But Arsenal and on that format or be attacking more. And if they are attacking, if they are trapper, PSG for best set up, especially in their build up. If Arsenal for Omentimian have any bait, any ways and means that Omentimian they avoided that trap now, they will still lose to PSG. In the game now, I'm going for a double chance for PSG. Maybe a 2-1 victory for PSG in this game. Both teams to score.
Arsenal will score today.
Yeah, Arsenal will score.
Okay.
Arsenal definitely they are going to score in this game. But PSG, because of Arsenal never Bristol no be any game no be game no extra time na they be affect me. I have every right saying the PSG are going for a double chance for PSG both teams to score bookings. This to all there will be a lot of pressure in this game, so we expect over 2.5 bookings in this game. And Arsenal medical catch us they rely on set pieces. One of the set pieces we rely on here by corners. They do we know the corners they show go. You should expect a lot of corners in this game as well.
Okay, which probable lineup, possible lineup?
Yes. With Partey back, medical Raya will start. I think that Gabriel Maguire is still out, so we should expect a center pair of Saliba, any cable. Also, the center left back, I think that Obesta is Martin Skelly because of how if they are in transitional or no caught wide, how he can also take the ball to run a lot. Now, they are affected PSG team, no. So I think that Obesta Lewis Kelly, and also at the right back will be Julian Timber as well. In midfield, Partey will start. At least on a Declan Rice will go to the number 8 position our born several times this season, and Odegaard will also start in this game. Merino Ebekon emergency number 9 or Bono. I expect Saka and Gabriel Martinelli to start this game. On PSG side, obvious Donnarumma will start this game. Hakimi, the center pair, which is Marquinhos, and Ayet Abranta and Eddie William Pacho. Nuno Mendes will start from the left. The 3 midfielder Obono. As usual, Vitinha, João Neves, and Abranta and Eddie Fabian Ruiz. The up front, and so obvious, Dembele, Vicha Kvaratskhelia, and Desire Doué. In fact, on my last game, my boy in this French league, you know, only one player pay 10 changes in the coach near. One player paid the team the nod in the game, which was Abranta and the other João Neves. So these are the probable lineup. I think that 2 teams to beat team, so a team has started.
All right. What do you line up with Anafi?
Okay, we line up neither. I think we wouldn't see a lot of changes. I didn't make us and say we are looking at 2 teams. The coaches like to play some particular type of players in their game because of send your person winning game. Into with Paris Saint-Germain side, we wouldn't see a lot. I think we'll see the same players or more in the first league, no. And when Behun Donnarumma, Behun Hakimi, Behun Pacho, Marquinhos, Mendes, Infino, Neves, Vitinha, any Fabian Ruiz, New Desire Day, Ousmane Dembele, and Kvaratskhelia, and so with Arsenal, Partey would come in to change Trossard. Into a more of Raya, Ben. Maybe I'm looking at and Ben Adrian say or bet me started Ben White ahead of Timber, depending on the way you overloaded the left wing. No, he's very solid and would go into hard tackles, but a bit depending on send your bet me according between Ben White and Timber. One can start on the right back position. You be Saliba, Kivio, Lewis Kelly, Rice, Partey, Odegaard in the middle, Martinelli, and with me, I would go for Saka, Merino, Iwanieri as my front three because I think Saka, Iwanieri can put more pressure on the Paris Saint-Germain team than their Martinelli, you know. So we'll see Seni Arteta be called into the game. But I think with this front three, Kebetimi Aboa, Emma Arsenal Timenya, and Eligo, I bet me Aboa.
Okay.